so sorry. Let me take my hair down.
Oh no, she did it. Maggie was just getting
I don't
ready.
like it.
We were
Oh.
catching up before this, and she was like, you know what, Brandon, why don't you just hit record and we'll talk on air and come on.
No, because the thing is, I'm wearing a hoodie, right? And the inside is kind of like fluffy. And then, like, so my hair, like, lint gets trapped in my hair. If you have locks, anyone with locks knows the deal. And so I'm trying to, like, stop the hood from touching it, but I don't like how how I looked with my hair up. So I decided to put it down and sacrifice the lint infestation that could occur. So it's fine. But I decided last minute, and I should have thought it through for a second. I'm trying to close it. I don't think it'll be a problem.
It's okay. You look great, Maggie.
Thanks, Brandon. How are
Of
you?
course, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday. Welcome everyone to the shade of it all. Maggie did also interrupt. I was gonna sing a Sabrina Carpenter song, so
Oh, of course you
she
were.
destroyed. Oh, she destroyed that moment, took it from me, but it's fine.
Of
Um,
course you did. What song? Go ahead. Take your
n-
moment back, Brandon.
no, I can't. It's fine. It's done. It's
What song was
over.
it gonna be though?
I'll leave it as a surprise, and maybe for the next episode, I'll sing
I'm
it.
dead. Wow.
Uh,
So on Friday night, I hung out with Brandon.
we did hang
Um,
out.
it was fun.
It
And
was.
we did karaoke for a little bit, which is honestly kind of what we do all the time.
It
And so
is.
now that I'm thinking back to your birthday party when we went to the it's very on brand because we usually just like whenever we hang out, it's like, oh, we can do this and we can do that. And we usually just end up singing. Like it
This
doesn't
is
matter.
true.
We, at some point, someone will say a song and it's like, oh, put it on. And then
Put it
20
on real
songs
quick.
later,
YouTube
we are in
karaoke.
deep. Yep.
It was a time. It was
And
fun.
he sang a lot of Sabrina Carpenter and
Okay.
forced us to watch at least five music videos or performances. My
Forced
friend
is
is obsessed.
strong. Look, here's the
Not forced,
thing.
but put it on the only TV that everyone was around.
We were,
that
well, I was introducing our other friend, Astra, to some of the music that I knew she would like. I
Mhm.
think at the time,
The
what
music
was it?
video scared her.
Oh, you
You're
know
over
what?
here traumatizing Astra.
I forgot she was sensitive to gore. Um, it was the Taste music video. But in also my defense, Maggie saying this while we were starting to watch these, Maggie was trying on the clothes that I picked out and bought for her
You
from the
know,
Gap.
yes, that was a lot
And
of fun.
so she wasn't forced to do anything.
You're right. I would stop there, but the night began with Sabrina Carpenter music videos and then it ended with Sabrina Carpenter music videos. You watch like three while I was trying on clothes, and then in the evening you're like, we were singing Chappell Roan, and he's like, she covered Chappell Roan. Let's watch that. And then we watched another thing, and then we watched another thing, and then we're like, it's time to go
It's time to leave. This is where
home.
it's done. Well, you know what? It was so good to have. Yeah,
He is a fan. Has she entered your dreams yet, Brandon?
No, I haven't got into your journey with Chappell Roan just yet.
Well, I
Oh,
feel bad because
oh
Homegirl
yeah.
really doesn't.
She would
She said,
not want you to
hey,
say
all you
hello to
weirdos
her.
out there, leave me the fuck alone.
But
Chappell's not playing with you. She's not playing with any of us. I mean, so here's what happened. Like 2 weeks ago, Brandon, maybe a week ago, Chappell
oh
Roan
yeah.
posted on her Instagram and she was like, my career, I've been singing for the past 10 years. My career has blown up. Like this is the most success I've ever experienced. And I'm very happy, but I'm also very scared. I've never been so scared for the safety of my family and myself.
Hmm.
And she's like, okay, so like, just because you see me doesn't mean you have access to me. And I'm not going to create this trend essentially of celebrities having to keep their lives open to their fans 24/7. And she's like, um, So just because you see me doesn't mean I have to sign you an autograph. And if that makes you upset, I'm letting you know right now that I don't care. Like when I am on stage, I am Chappell Roan. When I'm off stage, I am out of the office. Do not bother me. Do not email me. I'm not gonna answer you. And she's like, also, please stop calling me Kaylee. Like you guys are being weird. I've never been so scared for my safety and the safety of my family. And so, which is all her statement was 100% good. She also said something else to the effect of like, this is what women experience on the regular. Like, just because I'm wearing a certain outfit doesn't mean you can touch me or I can be catcalled, right? Like, she's making very good points. I 100% agree with her statement.
Yeah, I do too. And I get there's like the weird fans and all like that cross
Hmm.
boundaries.
Hmm.
Sometimes fans just want to say hi. And sometimes I mean that just goes with being a celebrity, but I get
Yeah.
creating that boundary. I heard some of
Yeah.
her video though where she was like, if you saw a stranger on the street, would you yell and say hello to them and all this? And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, no, because a stranger and they like, if they're not a celebrity. But regardless, you know what?
Yeah.
If she doesn't want y'all to talk to her, then, that's her right to say.
No,
So,
Chappell said, leave me the hell alone. So I think it's funny. I 100% agree with her statement, though. And I honestly think more celebrities, more artists, influencers, whatever, people of influence should set those boundaries because it's all like mix and match, right? Like, oh, almost because I think, let me know what you think, Brandon. But I feel like because some celebrities are like, it's okay, then it kind of sets a norm that it's okay. Granted, I don't really think anybody ever said it was okay. Like, I think the norm has been like, if we're thinking back to the first influence, like first influencer, Paris Hilton, like paparazzi invaded her life. And now that we all have phones, we're low key just like them. We're not selling your picture, but we want one for our archives, you know?
yes.
So, like, I don't think there was ever a point where there was like open like celebrities gave people permission to be this crazy. I think it's the norm from pop like we learned from paparazzi that I can follow you and I can take a
Yeah.
picture and I can take a video and
We should do a deep dive
this
into
is
this.
interesting, right?
We need
This
to
is
do
interesting.
we need to do a history lesson on the start and the origin of celebrity fandom
Yeah.
and people like taking pictures and like paparazzi. Yeah, because paparazzi are crazy because they'll just be
Yep.
snapping the pictures, and there's always those moments where celebrities will turn on them and like yell
Yeah.
at them. Some will fight
Oh,
them, and it's like,
yeah.
well,
Chris Brown
paparazzi, you
is
kind of suck.
Right. Chris Brown has assaulted several people in general, but
Well,
namely,
I don't know if
namely,
that was the best example.
namely photographers. I was the only person I can think of that really like well off the dome that fights back a lot. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all that
No, I
I
think
don't think
I mean
okay.
I think if celebrities are okay with it, then
Yeah.
like saying hi, then I think that's fine. I don't
Hmm.
think like I guess in some eyes it would set the precedent that all celebrities are. But then if a celebrity like Chappell Roan is saying like no, I'm not, then people should be like, okay, like we
Respectful.
know she isn't, but this celebrity's okay with it, but that one's not.
Yeah.
But I do think some people need to learn the art of respect, space, and playing it fucking cool. If I see a celebrity,
Oh,
I
I'm not gonna do
would
that.
never
Oh my gosh, I would never.
approach them. Like, and I was just like, I would see them. I would be like, oh my gosh, that's them. I just like, I'd be too nervous. And I'm just like, I don't want to
I
bother them.
wouldn't exactly. That's exactly how I
Like,
felt. That's exactly how I would feel, and that's actually how I have felt in the past. Um, there was this a couple years ago, me and Obi went to Houston for vacation, and I bumped into this guy who's an influencer on Instagram at like this piano bar. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Obi, it's him. And I was like, I do not want to talk to him. I do not want to talk to him.
no.
And Obi approached him to ask him if I could have a picture. And he said yes. And I took a picture with him. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love you. I just took a picture and it was quick and I left. And
Yeah.
then there was this other time where I went to this conference in Louisiana. Do you remember when they in Louisiana they opened up a lynching memorial? And then there was like
I don't.
another a museum of like it was actually pretty historic. So it was kind of a
Okay.
big deal. There was a museum. Oh man, hold on. There was the lynching memorial, and then there was this organization that opened up a museum. But it was kind of a big deal in Louisiana. Me and a bunch of friends rented a car and we all went down there together. And a lot of celebrities, actresses and stuff were there. And so occasionally people would bump into them and I never said anything to one. My friend wanted a picture with someone and she was like, "Okay, I'll give you a picture because you're cute." But she seemed annoyed and I was like, "I see, I
What
don't
celebrity was it?
it was this lady. She's a black actress. Honestly, I really can't remember. I didn't know her name, but she did. She's been in a lot of movies, like playing a mom or a grandma, but I can't remember her name. I might have to look it up and find it because I can't even think of a movie that she's in right now. But she was she
She
was a
was
person of
in a
influence.
movie. She was
She
a
was in a movie.
celebrity.
She is an actress, a famous actress. I just can't remember her name. But yeah, anytime I've been in those situations, I'm always trying to play it cool.
Yeah. And also time and place. I don't know if like those museums would be the place to be like, hey, by the way. I
Right.
mean, I guess if they seem okay with it, but yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta play it
Oh,
by situation.
right. It's called the Legacy Museum. It's in Montgomery,
Okay.
Alabama. And nearby, they also made a or do they call it the lynching memorial? That sounds kind of rough. Yep. Then, oh, National Memorial for Peace and Justice, Magdala. So these are really cool places in
Maggie
Alabama.
spreading false information, but that's okay. She did
I was like, I
research on the
gotta get this
fly.
right. I just remember that it was a memorial to people who have, the history of slavery in North America. Um, but that event, there was a bunch of people. Stevie Wonder was there. John Lewis was there when he was still alive. Like a lot of civil rights activists, like Kirk Franklin performed, Usher performed. It was a cool thing. So they were
Oh,
all kind of like, and it was their first time like doing something. So a lot of people were around. And I just would never. And the reason why this is coming up is I was obsessing over Chappell Roan's music, similar to how Brandon is currently obsessing over Sabrina Carpenter. And I had a dream that I met Chappell Roan, and in the dream, Chappell was like inviting me to like look at her wardrobe and hang out with her.
be her
And so
bestie.
I'm
The
like,
polar opposite of what she would actually do to anyone.
basically, now I know that my dream is pure. What is it? At the while you're sleeping, your brain is just processing information. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not gonna be
It was a
friends with
work of
Chappell Roan.
fiction, like
It
most
was a
dreams.
work of fiction.
Uh,
And I'm okay with that. I was just joking. I was like, she don't want me around.
I'm
But I
glad you're
wouldn't
okay with it, Maggie.
I wouldn't bother her anyway. I think I even remember in my dream being like, oh, hi. And
Oh,
then she's
hey.
like, you seem cool. Come look at my clothes. And I was like, yes,
Of
please. Your
course.
wardrobe is everything.
Uh, that's funny.
Anyway.
But
Oh, you asked me how my weekend was. So Friday we hung out
oh yes.
very late. I got home at like 2 a.m.
Was it that
and
late?
I got home super late. I also took the local route, which was kind of like I just felt like I was just driving for a very long time.
Oh yeah, because you did
I
take a
didn't
minute to get to my
get
house.
home. I did too. Yeah, I kept taking the local route. I promise, like my GPS is the ops, or I just wasn't paying attention because I definitely drove through a neighborhood, drove out of a neighborhood, and then drove to your house. And I was like, I don't
I was
remember
yeah,
ever
because I'm
coming
like, me
home.
and Maggie don't live far. So when she took a minute, I was like, oh, I wonder what's happening.
It took me like maybe 40 minutes as opposed to 15 if I just got on the expressway. I just didn't want to pay those damn tolls. They add up.
They
Anyway,
charge us for everything.
so Friday we hung out. Saturday was my best friend's baby shower. So she just had her second child. Homegirl is beautiful, but she's a preemie. She's early. She's supposed to be born in September. The shower was already planned, so we just proceeded with the shower. So I got home at 2, woke up at 7 to drive to Port Charlotte to go to the shower. So it was like 2 hours away, and I was on my feet like all day. I was exhausted.
Oh,
Um, the shower was fun, but something weird happened. Can I tell you a funny story, Brandon?
oh,
I'm gonna tell you this
sure.
story, and I want you to tell me if this is weird. So, this same friend, her name is Diva. I love Diva. We've been friends for a very long time, longer than I've known Brandon. Oh, I wonder how long it's been. Anyway, we've been friends for a long
Not
time.
possible.
when she was having her gender reveal, we got breakfast that morning at First Watch. So we go to First Watch, we're hanging out, and I sit down at a table, and the server is someone I know. So the town I'm from, Port Charlotte, Florida, is super small. Like you'll bump every time I go home, go there, I see someone who I used to know or something. So this person we bump into is somebody who I was like, I would say decent friends with. Like I wouldn't say we were best friends, but it wasn't like you're just an acquaintance. Like we had a decent friendship. And I see her and she's like, "Hey, Maggie, how are you? It's so good to see you." I was like, "It's great to see you too. Are you still in touch with so and so?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I am too." And she's like, "Hey, I'm going to give you my number. Like, let's talk." And I was like, "Okay, cool. You know
Oh.
me, I'm friendly." Brandon, she never gave me her
Oh.
number. So this is like when I sit down, right? She
Yeah.
brings us food. She walks back and forth like 10 times and never gives the number.
Do
I'm
you think
not
she
pressed.
forgot?
I 100% doubt it, but it
Oh.
is a possibility because it's just like, what do you mean? You like just told me, and then like 5 minutes pass, and
Yeah,
you
and you're
just
like, anyways.
yeah, so the whole our whole brunch was like a little awkward after that because she like brought us our food. She wasn't our server, but like she was like interacting with us and then like interacting with people around us. So I was like, this is so awkward. And you know me, whenever something is weird, I'm just like, this is weird. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
be here. Not that I was like trying to rush out of the place, but it was just a little awkward. And then naturally me and Diva talk shit. So we're both like kind of giggling about it because what the fuck? Like, why did you do that? You know?
Right.
And then she's like, "Oh, I see Diva all the time." And Diva's like, "Bitch, I haven't seen you in years. What do you mean you see me all the time?" So we're like joking, we're like having our little banter about it too. And we leave, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm never gonna see her again. She comes to the baby shower as a plus one to somebody else who's invited.
That's wild.
Isn't it? So we're all so back a little bit. I was Diva's maid of honor. So like we're tight. Whenever she has something, I'm always boots on the ground doing whatever she needs me to do. She just had a baby, so she's moving a little slower. She's still recovering or whatever. And so I'm like helping set up. I'm greeting everybody that comes in, and then I'm the one who is organizing all the baby shower games. There's like a game that we're playing as you walk in. So I'm like talking to everybody as they come in. And this girl walks inside, and I'm just like, "Hey."
Oh, hi. How are
Oh,
you?
hi. So awkward again.
Oh
Again,
gosh.
just
Did she offer to give
extremely.
you her number again?
No, she didn't mention it. And I was like, I mean, look, I don't live in Port Charlotte anymore. Even if you gave me your number, like I would text you, maybe we'd link up in the near future, but I'm not like gonna talk to you every day. So I really wasn't worried about it regardless. Like it just was weird that she offered and didn't give it to me. That's what made it weird.
Yeah.
I can see somebody from my past say hi and we can leave it at that because we're probably not going to talk to each other. Like we're all, it's been years since I've seen you. I could say hi to you, but to exchange numbers and whatever, like if you want to, I'm open, but since
Yeah.
you're obviously not wanting to, we can just leave it at that. So it's just extremely awkward. And like, it's not that I do not like her or anything. It was just weird. I just
Yeah.
felt weird about it. So then naturally, me and Diva are talking shit again, giggling about this on the side.
That is funny
um,
that she was a plus one though. Like not
literally,
invited. And that's funny because she had said like, "Oh, I see Diva all the time." And then she just pops
yes,
up at her baby shower.
at her baby shower, was playing with her kids.
Did
Like,
Diva a lot of plus one to people?
I don't think so.
So
So,
why did this person bring a plus one?
who knows? She was a plus one of her husband's friends. So I'm just like, okay, but it was just altogether weird.
Yeah.
Altogether, just very, very weird. So that happened, baby shower. Baby shower's good. The games, I'm the MC. Brandon helped me think of games the night before because
Oh
I
yeah, he
forgot.
did.
And so the games go well, everything is fine. And then like the evening comes and now I'm just exhausted because like I don't like to spend the night in Port Charlotte usually, especially on a 3-day weekend. Like this is Labor Day weekend. So I was like, I want to be home on Sunday morning so I can just like get stuff done, you know.
Right.
But I was too tired to drive. I went over Diva's house to see the baby, and she's like, "Well, why don't you spend the night?" And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "I'm gonna be up all night, you know, with the baby and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." You know, like you just had a baby. I want to spend as much time with you as possible. The baby did not sleep.
Oh.
And I did not sleep, which I kind of half expected that she would like be, newborns usually every 3 hours they're waking up to eat
Yeah.
or something. But for some reason, as soon as I arrived, she like did not want to fall asleep. So for like the first 2 hours, we're just like rocking the baby, feeding the baby. Oh, I'm not. I'm watching Diva rock her
I'm
baby, feed
there.
her baby. I'm there for moral support. She's like very restless and stuff. So it was like the first I've never experienced like I've been around young kids, but not newborns. So I experienced what new parents experience, and I can definitely say that I will have to really think about whether I want kids or not.
Oof. I could you
It
would be a
was a
great
lot.
mom, but they are a lot of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I
My
was
friend who
like,
just had a baby, they it was a lot where
yeah,
they just keep you up.
they do.
She says you get in like your own world because it's like
I'm
you're not in
sure.
a normal like sleep schedule and you're just like
Yeah.
home. So you're just
Yeah.
like in your own little
It's like you're in the Big Brother house. You're just like,
Oh my
this is a
gosh.
new reality of things that happen where every 3 hours I wake up and in
Right.
between I go to sleep. So the fact that like she had enough, the homegirl is strong. Like my friend, one thing about her is she's strong because she was in front of people like for half the day. And like that morning while we were getting stuff ready, she was there for like an hour and then me and the other people kind of finished up everything. She looked exhausted. And then
Yeah.
when I got there, I mean, obviously she looked exhausted. She is exhausted. She's gonna be exhausted for a long time. Like, you have to be ready mentally to just be tired for 6 months to a year.
Yeah. A long
That's
time.
crazy. I was like, I'm gonna have to hire a
Maggie's like,
midwife.
I already can't sleep. I can't do this now.
No, for real. For real. I already don't sleep. So I was like, either me and my partner need to take shifts, and if he can't do that, then we have to hire somebody. Somebody needs to be here. It's just so interesting. And then the baby was so small, like,
Oh yeah.
and helpless, and like
Just
just
little baby.
just a little baby,
I'm a
like just
baby.
yeah. And I was just like, and then like honestly, I was also kind of terrified. Like, is she good? What's she crying for? You gave her milk, she's still crying. She's like, maybe she wants more. And I'm like, we just gotta guess until we find out why the baby's crying.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. Maybe by the time I have kids, they invent an app to be like, here are the reasons. Like, I have a tracker on my phone that tells me throughout the month, like, oh, on this day you might have a headache, on this day it'd be great if
Mhm.
they had that for babies. Like, hey, since your baby only got 2 minutes of sleep ago, they're probably uncomfortable, or you know what I mean, since your baby
Yeah.
only went down for an hour, they might need to be changed. Like, I mean,
Reading the
we gotta,
baby's mind and being
yes,
like,
I
what
need
does it need?
something, because you just have to guess until you find out. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could ever. I'd be too
Do you want
paranoid.
children, Brandon?
I don't think so. It's too much. I gotta take care of myself. I can barely take care of
That part.
myself.
That part. It's like I don't always eat 3 meals a day, and you need more than that.
You need more.
It's
Yeah, no.
crazy.
But it
I had
sounds
an
like though
interesting weekend.
you had an interesting, fun
Hmm.
weekend, an informative weekend with
Very.
experiences.
I got a lot of information. No, even at the when homegirl came to the baby shower, I was talking to my friends like, guys, I'm uncomfortable. And they're like, why? You're fine. You're fine. Because the what I told myself as a resolution to help me move on, because my thing is anything that's awkward, I will fixate on it.
Oh
If
yeah.
I am at the store and I trip, I will think about that for the rest of the day. The people who saw me, how I played it off. Did I play it off cool or not? Like I will just run myself crazy.
Viral.
So when I saw her at first watch, I was like, it's fine. I'm never going to see her again. And then when I did, I was like, I can't say that now because I
Oh,
probably am.
she's just gonna pop up.
She might be at the next function.
You
So
just
who
can't go to Port
knows?
Charlotte again.
Basically, need to tell my parents to move.
Be like, y'all, I can't go back for reasons I don't want to disclose. And y'all just gotta move here.
Y'all got to move here. We got to do something else because I don't want to be in more awkward situations. But yes,
Yeah.
that's so. Before we started recording, Brandon was like, "How was the baby shower?" And I was like, "Turn the mic on, bring the
Turn it
beat
on.
in."
Bring the beat in. Ba 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 da ba 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 da. That was a song we sang.
It is.
Uh,
How was your? What did you do yesterday? Oh, you went to
oh,
a thing. Hold on, I know what it was. An engagement party.
it
Mm,
was. It was my
I listened.
cousin's engagement party. You do listen, and you
I listened.
retain. Look at that.
I was what?
You retain.
Oh, I retained. I know that's
Retain.
right.
What did you think
Mm.
I said?
I don't know. I was tame or that I'm tan. I don't know. I was like, did he say tame?
Tane. Um, but yes, it was my cousin's engagement party in Longboat Key, which is about hour and a half away. I thought the drive would be bad, but it wasn't too bad. I drove with Gia and she came and it was nice. My family, they like remodeled their beach house. Like they have had one for like a few years now, but before it was like nice, but then they like completely remodeled it to where it doesn't even look like the same house. It's like three
Oh.
stories. There's an elevator,
Oh.
which is wild. It's like one of those like you open a door and then it has like the sliding thing and then you slide it and then
Oh,
there's a button.
wow.
It's fancy. These are
That
my
is fancy.
rich aunt and uncle. I'm like, can
Yes.
I move in here, please? I don't even mind the
Please.
beach decor. But they had like a pool, they had like all this stuff, like a deck top view on the top. It was nice. They had jet skis. Didn't
Oh,
get on them,
wow.
but I
I
just
was gonna
sat in
say,
the
what were the
floaty and was in the
activities?
pool.
Oh,
Um,
you were?
yeah, there wasn't too much.
Oh.
It was just like music and some people were watching like football. There was some football game on, I don't know. But
Oh, really?
it was just like a bunch of our family. I think it was like Penn
Hmm.
State, maybe college football.
Oh, okay.
Mm. But
A sport was played.
a sport was played. But no, we were just hanging out in the pool and it was nice. I was getting some sun for the first time. I put sunscreen and I managed to only burn the top part. You can
I
kind of
see
see if you're
it.
watching on YouTube. It's just this random top part of the left side of my head. I don't know how, because I thought this side was the most covered, but I guess it wasn't somehow. Because this side, not bad. Just random spot on the top of my head. But
Oh,
at least
that's
it's not
how
my
it
full
gets
face, so
you.
it's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
that's fun.
but yeah. So oh my gosh, excuse
You
me.
okay? Breathe,
No,
Brandon.
breathe.
Breathe,
Um,
bitch.
but yeah, it was fun. I was exhausted though afterwards, being in the sun all day. So that was a
It
lot.
really like I really like being outside, but it's draining.
It was. Did I fall asleep right when I got home? No, because like me, even if I'm tired, I still stay up late. So I didn't fall asleep till like 2 a.m. But I didn't
What
have to
time did
be
you
up
go to
early,
sleep?
like
Oh,
2
that's true.
a.m.
Today. Okay, okay.
I woke up at like 9 or something. I got a decent amount of
What
sleep.
time did you leave for Longboat Key?
Oh, for Longboat Key, we left around like 10:30. I didn't fall
Oh,
asleep
okay.
though till like 2:30. But I
Okay,
woke up at
okay.
9 again too. I keep waking up at 9, which is fine. But
Yeah.
because we were gonna leave by 10, because the party started at 11:30. But then I was just
Hmm.
like, we can leave at like 10:30, 10:45. It's fine. We'll get the dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you track your sleep, Brandon?
I don't, if my phone does, I don't look at it because the iPhone like do it
Hmm.
automatically. I should
It
look.
does. I wear my Apple Watch to sleep. So I don't know. I look every day actually because I am trying to get better sleep. So last night with the newborn, I got 4 hours and 7 minutes, but I was in bed for 8 hours and 8 minutes.
How do you look on your iPhone?
So go to health, and
Health,
then there should be sleep right underneath it.
sleep. Okay. I got, okay, wait, that's average time. How do you go to just the day before? Oh,
So if you once you click on sleep, then it should say the first thing I see is the date and then how much sleep I got.
okay, I see it. It's the first one. It went to the week, the average week at first. I got 6 hours and 10 minutes
That's
of
pretty
sleep.
good.
Yeah, not bad. All right. It
This is
always
so
goes it goes
this
to
is so
sleep
bad.
mode at like 10:30 or something for some reason. I gotta get rid
Your
of that.
phone does?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I
What's
always
your
take it
what's your
off.
really?
Yeah, because I'm not asleep.
Yeah.
And I don't know, then you don't
Yeah.
get notifications. And I'm like, well, I'm still up. I want to see if people are
Who
talking to
wants
me.
to talk to me? I'm awake.
I'm awake now. Uh,
That's so funny.
but I need to get better about sleep. And this week, I keep saying this. I need to be better
Uh,
about eating. And we're gonna try
yep, we're gonna do it.
because like I started to get back into working out more, and then last week I didn't so much because I like hurt myself somehow, and like my ribs, they feel a lot better now, I will say.
You need to
So
go to a doctor.
I do not,
Don't be
they
like
don't hurt.
me.
Maggie, don't do this. How's your foot though? Is it feeling better?
It actually hurts really bad
Oh no.
today,
Did you have
like
your
more
insoles
than
on
most.
yesterday?
I did have them
Okay, that's
on.
good.
It's funny. As soon as I sat down at my desk, I found the paper that my doctor gave me for the shoes they wanted me to buy 4 weeks ago. So I think I'll purchase a pair.
I think you need to. What are you doing tomorrow?
Which nothing.
Oh, we should go
Oh,
get you
you should.
those shoes.
Oh,
And
from
we
the
should
store?
get you jeans.
Will the stores be open tomorrow?
I don't know. Will
Okay,
they
well
just
look.
open later?
You should come over tonight so we can gut through my closet
Tonight?
tonight. You're not going
Maybe.
to sleep. You just told me I know your sleep schedule.
Sundays, though,
Oh, is
we
there something to watch? Or you have your weekly routine?
Sundays just, it's relaxed. It's like, oh,
Resting.
Daddy's Caribbean is on Zeus. We usually grill or sometimes order.
Oh,
I'll
that's nice. I like that little
exfoliate and take
routine.
my full shower.
Yeah.
But
I
maybe
need a dedicated day of self-care like that.
you do. It's
Like
good to
I don't
have.
do
But
that.
if you're not doing anything tomorrow, I'll come over tomorrow. I don't have anything planned tomorrow.
Okay, we should. I want you to go help me go through my closet. Not that I need help. Do you do this? I have this like, okay, so if you've been listening, I occasionally talk about like, I hate to say it, but I really can't dress myself. Like, I will buy an outfit, but I get stuck in my head like this shirt goes with this pair of pants, and I don't wear it any differently, or I only pair it with a couple
Maggie
things.
stresses herself
Like,
out. Before she tried on the clothes, I knew she was taking long because she was like, but what shoes should I bring for the outfits? I have to see the full outfit. And it's like, Maggie, you're just trying on
see,
some shirts. It's
I
fine.
overthink it and then I end up like missing out. And then like there's all these I've noticed a couple people on like Instagram and TikTok will be like, here's it's like wearing an outfit, styling an outfit, and they like pair it with stuff. And I actually feel like I have enough clothes to do that, but I just don't. Like I don't know how or I just don't. So Brandon is helping me. I put together a little budget. I was like, buy me here's this amount of money, buy me clothes. And then we tried it on. Go look at our TikTok if you want to see. We started with like casual looks. I
Hmm.
gave him 3 Pinterest boards. One is just like cute casual. Also, and then another one is like work casual. And then
Hmm.
there's like night on the town. I'm going out, date night, out girls' night outfits. So we kind of did the like general casual slash work one. We've got
Yeah,
a couple pieces for those. So we're working on it.
we are. There was only a few flops. The jeans were just too big.
Yeah.
And then the dress, okay. the thoughts behind the dress. It was a little more bridesmaid than I thought it would be. When I
Yeah.
saw it on Zara, I was like, oh, it looks more fitted. I didn't think it'd be as thick at like the
It was
top
some
part.
it was some thick material.
It was. I
So
thought
much
it'd be
so that
more bodycon, and it
hmm
just when it came, it wasn't. But
it
that's
didn't eat.
the trials and tribulations of online
hmm
shopping. Sometimes you
Yep.
think it's gonna be something, and it's not.
And it's not. And that's why I don't do it. So that's the other thing is I hate going to stores because I immediately feel exhausted because it's like, oh, I found some stuff. Oh, it didn't fit. Go put your clothes back on. Go get the new one. Go back, take your clothes off, try it on. Oh, you didn't wear the right shoes. Oh, you didn't wear the right bra. And then it's just too much. And then
Yeah.
online shopping is I don't have the energy to return stuff. I don't know why. I just get a mental block. I'm like, so now all these clothes are mine. I have a pair of pants in my closet, too small for me, and three dresses that I bought for my cousin's wedding sitting in the closet in the bags that I just will not wear. And I'm not going to Plato's Closet for them to give me 2 pennies for it. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, wear them one day. I don't know.
It's
I just
good
don't
to
have the energy to
save.
return stuff
Yeah, it's good to save because you never know. Sometimes you think you won't want something, and then the time will come where
later
you're
on
like,
either.
actually, I do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I submitted the return for the Gap jeans that were too big. We had to drop
Mhm.
them off at a Staples. Random.
See,
I'm
it's
like,
so much
I
work.
didn't know
Or
they
when you
still had
order something at
Staples.
Amazon, you have to drop it off at UPS or something. And it's like, it's fine. It's just like, that's right. Where's the closest Staples to you?
How about just give me my money back? Oh no,
Right.
that's how people scam. We're not trying to scam. We'll return it. We'll take the
No,
L
we
or
will.
we'll return it.
It's just
Uh,
it's just an extra
yeah.
step. And so I'm not with it. So Brandon purchased clothes for me, liked most of them. I wore the Gap vest, the short sleeved shirt yesterday, and I got a couple
Ooh,
compliments.
I love that.
Yeah, people like, and I liked it too. It's super cute.
It is.
So I think it's going well. So
It
we're in the
is.
process of gutting my I want to go through my closet, make space for the new stuff, and then just get rid of things that I really will never wear again.
Yes. And we will do that and we should vlog it and we'll post it on
That'd be
TikTok. It'll be
fun.
fun. I did order
Yeah.
myself a bunch of stuff from Gap because they're having even more sales for Labor Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, we gotta do a try on haul for you then and make a video.
Oh,
Y'all go see our TikTok. The shade of it all on TikTok. You'll see the video we
yes.
made. It's cute.
It's fun. Maggie does a little dance. That was her idea. It was cute.
It was my idea. Brendan just let me go with it.
I was like,
We had
do what you
fun.
want. Oh my gosh.
But we're having fun with that. I'll buy one of
We
these
are.
pairs of shoes. My foot will heal eventually. It's fine.
Oh, yes, that's how we got to that, your foot. But then we were talking about my ribs because we were
Mm.
talking
Oh
about
yeah, you need to go to
working
the
out.
doctor, sir. I
I
don't
don't.
think
It
it's
doesn't hurt
normal for
anymore. It doesn't.
that's what you said on Wednesday, and then it was hurting again on Friday.
But it
For the
really
record.
doesn't this time. We'll see if it comes back.
If it comes
But
back, will you go to the doctor?
sure. If it comes back as severe as it was last Sunday, a week from today, a week ago since today.
A rib
I don't know.
cage like pain just doesn't make sense to me. Like, did you sleep on like your mic? Like, what? Like, I don't understand how you randomly
It
get
could have
pain
been
in
my
your rib
arm if
cage.
I had my arm a certain way.
No, you've had your arms all your life. This has never happened before.
Well, I don't know. Look,
This doesn't
it's
make
a
sense. Like,
mystery.
he said I slept wrong. How do you sleep wrong on your ribs? How?
Maybe, I don't know. I just lean too
Maybe you
much on
were
that
laying on
side.
something.
It's because we're old. Gia was telling me it's because we're old and we need to sleep on our backs now.
Brandon, literally since I have around like as my 30s approached, I hurt my foot. I got just everything I feel like is happening now that I'm like
We're
older.
old now. It's not looking good for us, but
We
that's
need to
okay.
start stretching every morning
We
and
do.
just taking care of our joints and our ligaments and our bodies. I have been doing better though. Did I tell you how I'm So I have a habit tracker, right? And
Oh.
so I have goals for every day of the week. I'm not trying to be crazy about it, but I'll just set myself trying to like do things that are better for my body and my brain.
Ooh.
So I drink 100 ounces of water. I'm going to meditate for at least 3 minutes, 10 days a week. I'm going to journal or just write anything 2 days a week. Eat
Ooh.
low fat every day. Read a book for at least 15 minutes and follow my screen time restrictions. So my screen time restrictions are 30 minutes for social media and 2 hours for like watching shows. And so far it's been great. Like I've
A
been reading
day?
books a day, yeah, 30 minutes a day for social media.
Oh.
So I really like don't see a whole lot anymore.
Look at you.
Which
You do send me less TikToks these days.
yeah, I've been doing it for a whole week and I honestly I feel so different. Like I have more energy. I don't know if you feel like this, but when I'm on my phone for hours, I kind of get a headache and then like I kind of feel tired.
Um, have I? Feel that if I lay around too much. I don't know
Hmm.
about my phone. Because I feel like I don't look at my phone for hours. Like I'll do like intermittent. Like I'll like look at it and then I'm like, okay, let me take it off and then watch TV and then I'll get back
Hmm.
on it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends.
Okay. It's off and on. I think I really needed it because like I could literally lay around for like 2 hours just scrolling through TikTok and
That
saying
is
like,
easy to
oh,
do.
30 minutes, just wasting 30 minutes on social media. So I'm trying to just do it less. So I have, and so far, well, at least work wise, because I felt like it was a big distraction when I was during the workday, because I just pick up my phone and be like, oh, 20 minutes have passed, you
Oh.
know? And this week I felt so much more productive. I was listening to classical music while I worked,
Oh
like
my
doing a
gosh.
little like
Not
Mozart and shit in the
Beethoven.
back. You know, for real. And I was kicking ass. I got a lot done this week, like more productive than
Okay.
I felt in a while. So I think all these changes, like together, have made me feel better, like mentally, feel better physically, and then like just be more productive. And I like reading books.
Reading books is fun. I'm like, I was reading a lot. I've kind of fallen off a little in the summer. I need to get back into it. You really got to be in the mindset to read.
Yeah. I've
But
just been my time, I think I said 15 minutes a day. So I've been doing it like, okay, I'm going to bed. I'll read 15 minutes before I go to sleep, and then I'll play an audiobook until I fall asleep. So I've just been reserving it for that like time. But the other day I read for an hour. I was like, oh, I want to read. I'm reading Harry
oh,
Potter, so it's like fun to read.
not Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter.
You need to read Fourth Wing.
What's that?
It's like a book.
It's like
It,
a book.
it has, it's about dragons. And
Oh,
it's almost Harry Potter-esque because the main character goes to like this dragon school where she has to
not a
learn how to
drag.
be like a rider. It sounds more lame than it is. I
Okay.
promise. Because I don't like shit
I'll
like
give it
that.
a
Like
shot.
dragons, like I'm not into, oh, I don't know. But
I'll give it a shot.
it was good. And then there's some smut at the end.
What's
It's a
that?
series. Smut, it's like,
What's
like sexy, like sex
Oh,
scenes in books. A lot
okay.
of people like to read stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Okay, I'll check it out.
I think Kelsey was reading some books that had that. I hadn't read too much until this, but it was good. You would like it.
Hmm.
The book
I'm
in
gonna have to
general,
check it
not just
out.
for that, but you know.
Yeah, I like fun reads that are not about reality. Take me to another place, and I can just dive in. I like Harry Potter books specifically because I know you're not the hugest fan, but which is really crazy. But
Oh,
I'll leave you alone today. It's fine.
oh,
But I really love the series and the book. And the books just give you like extra details, extra information, so it's just extra fun to read them. And like even though I know what's happening already, I just want to get all the details and stuff.
I just need to know.
I just need to know, what did
Uh,
Harry Potter see when he first entered Hogwarts? Like I want to know all the details.
uh,
But
I
anyway,
love that for you, Maggie.
thanks, Brandon. You should try one of them.
Um,
One of these activities,
I
Adam.
should send me them. I'll try one of them because I
Bet.
need to. I'll probably do the reading one at least. I'll try to limit my phone time. We'll see.
Okay.
Send me them. I'll
Yeah.
see.
I think 30 minutes is kind of crazy. but I really need to like just limit myself. An hour, maybe two, an hour and a half. I think an hour is actually more reasonable. You could set your screen time restrictions to an hour.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I don't include YouTube in them, so I could still listen to podcasts because I'm not really watching. I'm more so listening.
Oh, true. Yeah, because sometimes I like to listen to podcasts and like watch on YouTube, but it's like
Right.
different.
Yeah, it's
We do
different.
that for Rob has a podcast. Um,
Obviously, I'm all cut up.
oh, we love that. Did you see Leah won veto?
No, I guess I'm not all cut up.
Why
That's
did you know
amazing.
what? I need you and Gia to get it together. When you say I'm all
Yeah.
caught up with something, be real. Because literally, I'm
Well,
in the car with Gia. She's like, I'm all caught up. And this, mind you, eviction's Thursday. We're talking
uh-huh.
Saturday morning.
Oh, and she didn't
So
know who went home?
I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Tucker went home. And she's like, I guess I'm not caught up. I'm like, what the? Why would you say you're caught up?
That's so
Uh,
funny.
I should
Well,
have known
in
though,
my
because Gia always thinks she's caught up with stuff and she's not. Love you, Gia, but it's true.
but Brandon, for those who are watching the live feed updates, you're always a day behind.
This is
I'm not on
true.
Twitter. I'm only and I missed it this morning. So I'm
So,
but the veto was yesterday.
yeah, I mean,
But
veto
that's
winner is
okay.
kind of loose, like, whatever. Like, who
Yeah.
cares who? I mean, I guess it matters who wins if it was someone who was nominated, but regardless.
Uh,
Um,
Leah's a funny character.
she is interesting. We'll
I was
see.
like, I wonder if you're gonna feel bad when you leave the house.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
wonder
Because it,
how Joseph and Quinn will feel when they realize how much shit you talk about them and they like love you. They
we'll
want to
have to
start a life
see.
with you, and you're like, anyways, I hate Quinn.
You're like, everything about them sucks.
No, it's insane.
Uh,
Anyways,
but with that being said, should we jump into these next episodes of Love Island?
let's do it.
Uh, so hello y'all. Let's get into the reason for the season. We're continuing our coverage of Love Island USA season 2. We
Mm-hmm.
had talked about doing 3 episodes, but one of the episodes was an hour and a half. We thought it was going to be like a recap one. It's not. So we're like, "Oh damn." Um
We weren't mentally prepared for an extra 45 minutes of content.
That part. So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna cover 7 and 8, and we might just do an extra episode this week to cover episode 9 and do the hour and a half
Yeah.
and see if it's juicy. I would imagine it's juicy based
Yeah,
off the
there's some
length
stuff happening.
and how episode 8 ended.
Nine
But
is an hour and a half, 10 and 11 are, oh, 10 is 45 minutes, 11 is an hour and a half too.
I
I
think
think
that I
two,
think I saw that one's the recap one though.
oh, it is.
Because I would imagine like
Oh,
one
it is
every
their two
few
hour
episodes,
recap.
which that one's the doesn't show anything new and it's just going over
Yeah.
what we already saw. So those
Yeah.
we can skip. Um, but with this, we're picking up at episode 7.
Episode
There's the
7.
Vegas theme party. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen at this Vegas theme party?
What's going on?
And they're playing a game. It's like a kiss
Mm-hmm.
roulette. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, this is so
Um,
fun. Everybody's having so much
everyone's having a great time. It's like a truth dare kiss one. I don't know. The main
fun. Yeah.
highlights of it was Moira chose to kiss Connor,
Mm-hmm.
which, okay, whatever. And but then he tries to kiss Mackenzie like afterwards because he's still with Mackenzie. She backs
Mm-hmm.
away. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then Connor gets a dare. He has to triple kiss. Like two people that's not someone he's with. So not
Mm-hmm.
Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm.
And so he picks Rachel and Justine. It's literally the smallest peck. It's so respectful. It's crazy.
I don't even think he touched their face. Like he leaned in and just we didn't see nothing happen.
Nothing. There was zero sexual anything.
And I think he picked two people who he's like obviously not interested in as well to even make it more respectful of Mackenzie and her feelings.
But that didn't matter.
Classic Mackenzie.
because Mackenzie was
Is
so
so
upset,
offended.
so offended. I'm like, wait, what? She's just like giving him the cold shoulder. She's like, I can't believe you did that. Like you like leaned in and it's like, well, what was he supposed to do?
So because he leaned in to kiss them on the cheek, respectfully, he is
For the game. It's not like he's like, hey y'all, I have an idea. Should I triple kiss and do it with two people that's not Mackenzie? No,
mm-mm.
it was the game. She is a lot.
She
And
is. And
it's just,
like, look, I always try to give folks the benefit of the doubt, especially on these shows when we really don't see everything. But from what I see here, Mackenzie is extra sensitive about Connor, talking to people, interacting with people, doing anything with anybody else. And it's just like, but that's the game, sis. Like,
yeah,
there's
like
no grace for him. He's always in the
none.
doghouse.
And I get a spiral, like, not to him, but being like, oh my gosh, I hated seeing him kiss other people, like to your friends. But to get
Hmm.
mad at him, it's like, you are awful.
You're the problem. You're the problem. It's
You're the
you. You're the
problem. It's you.
problem.
Even though I will argue, to some effect, Connor may be also in the next episode.
I agree.
But
Part
we'll
of the
get to that. We'll
problem.
get to that. At least right now, Mackenzie completely. But
Yeah.
Mackenzie does get attacks, and the hideaway is open, which I was shocked by because we got it so
Already?
late in
Yeah,
season
it seemed
six.
it seemed like something that you kind of do further along.
Yeah, but
But
they
now they
get it.
open it.
Episode seven, they're like, it's open. And so they have to pick, and they pick Sally and Johnny, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
cute. And Sally's like talking to the girls, and she's like, in the morning, it won't be a walk of shame, it'll be a stride of pride. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm. I
Sally.
love Sally.
She's
She's so
fun.
positive and fun. Yes.
She is. She's
All
my
the time.
favorite.
Yes.
She's such a good like hype person. Like even when new people come in, she's just so like, "Hey girl, you look so good." I'm like, "All
Yeah.
right."
And
Uh,
they're like, Johnny, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm just gonna match her energy. And I was like, we love a respectful king.
all right,
Okay,
Johnny.
Johnny.
We see you. Even though sometimes he's a little questionable, but for the most part he's
Yeah,
not.
I
He'll
started looking
sometimes
at
say
Johnny.
something and I'm like,
You know, by there's a point, and I'll bring it up again, but there's a point where he's talking, and I was like, at first I thought you gave good advice, and now I think you just think you give good advice. Like, I think you just think you're really smart,
I,
and maybe you think you're too smart. Like, you know everything.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he thinks he's more emotionally mature than he is,
Mm-hmm.
and we're starting to see
Yeah.
there's
Well,
little hints.
he does some things, and I was like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
Johnny.
But Connor tells the guys, he's like, I wouldn't react how Mackenzie did if the roles were reversed. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I won't be a pushover for much longer. And then immediately apologizes to Mackenzie. It's like, yeah, I'm just so sorry. And she's like, it's just like crazy how you like leaned in. And it's like, as opposed to what? What was he supposed to do?
Stand up straight to kiss two people. I don't know how you do that. Ask them to kiss you on the cheek. It's
Yeah.
just he's been put in these like low-key impossible situations that should not be so weighted. So even this, my vibe from Connor is he like has wants to be loyal, so he
Hmm.
doesn't say what's really on his mind. And that's to his detriment because obviously you need to communicate with her. He's not saying what he's really thinking.
Yeah. You
A
know
lot
what?
goes uncommunicated.
This
Yes.
is crazy because I've said before he's like Carl from Summer House.
Hmm.
This is so much like Carl. He's like a
Really?
people pleaser to a fault, to where he's
Uh,
not being honest.
Mm-hmm.
at all. But then I'm sure when he is gonna be honest, it's gonna be like a blow up. And it's gonna be worse than it would have been had he just been honest
Been honest. Yeah.
before.
On the flip side, though, Mackenzie is not someone who makes it easy to be honest.
No, and we'll see that in this episode too, where it's like, even if you are, she'll find a problem with how you were honest.
Right. But like, I feel like she did this before. Do you remember early on, she got mad at him for not like coming to find her fast enough, whatever, whatever. And
Yes.
then he was like, because she stormed off for something. She was
Because
like
he
making a
like
joke, but
Johnny
not
made like
making
a
it.
joke to her because she had told the bombshells like, well, don't talk to Connor because he's taken. And then
Yeah.
shortly after she's like, we'll talk to anybody. And Johnny just jokingly goes, even Connor? And she's like, shut up, Johnny. Like, I can't believe you would say that. And it's like,
I'm just joking. She got
nobody
all
can take
upset.
a joke. It's like, okay.
It was like he was actually joking with you and you can't take a joke.
His
But
was more
even
of a
during,
joke.
I feel like during that whole thing, he was trying to tell her, like, yeah, but like, this is what happened. And whatever he said wasn't right. Like, she didn't accept his, like, being like, I was trying to give you space. And she's like, but I was gone for 20 minutes. And it's like, so it's like impossible. Whatever you say,
Yeah.
she's not going to try to see it from your side. And so I feel like he has to tiptoe around her when he's trying to like talk to her about something serious, which is not a healthy relationship.
No, and that's just like Carl's relationship with Lindsay on Summer House because Lindsay's like the hothead
I
that
just
will
need to
like
watch Summer House.
you low key should. It's really good. But she'll like flip on a dime and like he would kind of try to like tiptoe around that, but then he had his own things. It was a mess, but I foresee a,
Yeah.
a big blow up between Connor and Mackenzie at some point.
Me, me too.
Um, but then Sally and Johnny, they kind of go to the hideaway, and we don't see too much
Hmm.
right away. But then this part really shocked me
Me
because
too.
Rachel talks to Jeremiah,
Hmm.
and she's just like, "Oh, you picked Moira to kiss in the game. Like, what was that? Was it just because of the game? Like, I was just a little like taken aback, or just like I didn't know."
Hmm.
And he says it was just a game, but then he pivots and he's like, but I, I like have been saying like I'm not 100% in on this, and I feel like we're kind of missing the spark. And she's like, wait, what?
He goes, I don't want nobody, in the dark, and I want to communicate that I want to be like friends, yeah, yeah.
And
It's
she's like,
like, where
say what now?
the fuck is this coming from, Jeremiah? Since when do you want to
Right.
be my friend? He said
Yeah,
friend, Brandon. That's
they've
damning.
literally been right because they've literally been like all over each other. He like loved like kissing her and stuff, and it seemed like they were
Mm-hmm.
like strong. So I did not see this coming.
Same.
I was like,
She
damn.
said the night before she told in her confessional, she's saying the night before she told him she was 90-10, like almost 100% in with him. And then he kind of blindsides her by saying this. And then I was like, oh, why, Jeremiah? Like, what's your reason to
Yeah,
immediately put her in the friend zone? Like, why? So I was like, did something happen that we didn't see? I mean, it
maybe
makes me think because it's like, what
did
else
he
is his
did he
reason?
sing to her and she got like she was just like it could be better, and he's like I can't do this.
Unfortunately, we haven't really seen like anything. We just see them like cuddled up sometimes, so that's it.
Yeah, so maybe something did, but it was very random with what we had been shown. So I was just like,
Yeah.
damn, okay, I guess
Okay.
this
I
is
guess you
over.
guys aren't together. Yeah. And she's like, okay. And she like kind of walks away and he's like, give me
Yeah.
a hug. Give me a hug.
She's like, all right. I like
And they hug.
Rachel the more we see her. Not that I
I
disliked her, but I was just like,
like
oh, I like you more. Like, because I feel like they barely showed her. Now they're showing her more. And I'm like, oh, I like you. Oh,
Yeah, no, I like her a lot. I like both. Honestly, I like both of them. I think Jeremiah is cool too. He's just confusing. And like it made me think
hmm
back cause she's upset that she's blindsided and it made me think back to how he was like, I will communicate everything with you always.
Yeah.
And she's like, you could have told me this yesterday, but I guess it's not. You could have told me this a week ago. I guess he told you kind of soon,
Yeah, I'm
but
like, at
it's
least
still
he
not
said
good.
it. Like, but I
Yeah.
get it. It seems to be he's transparent, but it often comes out of the blue. It's like you're
Yeah.
having a great time, and then he's like, there's no spark.
Surprise. Like, no
It's like,
spark? You've
oh,
been all
damn.
over me. What do you mean, no spark?
But you know who there is a spark with?
Who?
Moira and Calvin. Oh.
Moira's injury has evolved.
It has. She can barely
First, she
walk.
was jumping on one leg. Now she's on crutches officially. I
Yes.
was like, she really hurt herself.
He did. I'm like,
I
what
wrote down,
happened?
not crutches.
Um, and she's like talking to him, and she's just like, or he says, "Oh, you're at the top of the list for me. Like,
Hmm.
I love that you look good with no makeup. Like, that's a great thing." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." And then he doesn't he say something? He's like, "Oh, I'll be your crutch. Like,
Yeah.
I can be that for you." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I love
Yeah.
this. It's so easy talking to
Yeah.
you, Calvin."
And
And I'm like, "All right."
she's like smiling from ear to ear by the end. But yeah, he said all the right thing. He also said he likes her sleepwear style.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
okay, Calvin, you're observant. I like your pajamas.
They seem to be vibing, and then everyone goes to bed. I swear
Yeah,
we
he
see
brought
him go
her
to bed like
ice.
5 times an episode.
Yeah, we do, we do.
Uh,
And they really get close up. Like at one point, I don't remember which episode, but I saw Trey brushing his teeth, and I was like, we don't need this. This bedtime month, we don't need
oh yeah,
it.
he was getting all up in his tongue at one point. I was
Yeah,
like,
and his mouth
okay.
was open. You could see the toothpaste. I was like, this is not
I'm
necessary.
like, come on, y'all. This is not
Why
Big
are you
Brother.
doing this? Just show them getting in bed. Period. Unless there's a discussion to happen. Your
Yeah.
montage is like full of random clips. But I did think it was cute that Calvin brought Moira some ice for her knee.
Look at him.
Mhm.
James would never.
He would
Mm.
never.
But next day, Sally and Johnny return from the hideaway. And she's talking to the girls and she's like, it was the perfect night, but nothing happened between them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, boundaries,
She's
respect.
like, we'll find out if I'm a lady or a hoe. And it turns out I'm a lady. She said something like that.
What was it? It kind of rhymed.
Yeah.
What did she say? I forget, but it was something that kind of rhymed like that. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
like to know if I'm a lady or a
Or a
hoe?
hoe.
Something like
Yes,
that.
that's what it was.
Uh, and then when Johnny talks to Connor, he's like, I low-key thought she'd be on go, but it was a great time and we got a lot closer.
I didn't hear that.
He did say that. But he was like, oh, it was chill. Like we got to know each other like mentally, like, more like I think they talked about like childhood and stuff. But he did say he
Yeah.
thought something like, oh, I thought she'd be on go or something.
I don't like that thought.
Yeah. I mean,
You're implying something, Johnny.
what's the implication, Johnny?
Leave Sally alone.
Uh,
She says she's a lady.
then Connor confronts Mackenzie
Whew.
about her reaction last night. And he's just like, my feelings were hurt because we've had miscommunications like this before and I feel like I just didn't do anything wrong and I was made to feel like I did something so bad. And you would think maybe Mackenzie would be like, you know what, that is my bad, I should have, like, it was just I got insecure, shouldn't have been that way, shouldn't have taken that out on you. No, but instead she cries. And she says, why would you bring this up now and not last night? Like, this is crazy that you're bringing this up right now. Like, I can't even do this. Like, why would you do this right now? Like, why right now? Like, what? And then she walks away.
The way the tears are like instant, I was like, oh my God. I don't know. Obviously, they seemed instant. I don't know how long this conversation was, but dang,
I'm like, you
Mackenzie.
couldn't give him a little bit, like an acknowledgement of
uh,
something? Instead, you
and
choose
he's
to
like,
react the same way.
And he's trying to be so nice. I think he said something like, I don't, like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I just wanted to like communicate and share my feelings. And she's like, but why after you worked out?
It's
And it's
like,
like,
okay, like then if he confronted you last night, you would have been like, well, why would you be mad at me after you kissed three people? Like you just like you would pick anything. Like, what do you mean?
She's like in the moment, she does not seem very reasonable. In the moment of
No.
whatever's happening, it's just left like, and then they go, she runs away to somewhere else and she apologizes and is like, um I understand your feelings and I'm sorry for making you feel like that. I just don't like being approached like this. And then she explains that she's had people break up with her suddenly. um
Is it suddenly, Mackenzie? Is it suddenly?
Based on the things that we know about her, because we don't really know her that well, it sounds like she's the type of person that you tell her something and she just doesn't really like listen. And then when you get to your breaking point, she's still confused. It's like, girl, I told you a couple times now that I'm not having the most fun time. She's like, I was blindsided by our breakup. So I don't know. I don't know,
This is
Mackenzie.
literally again Carl and Lindsay on Summer House. He breaks off the engagement after they fought for the whole summer. And she's like, but we only fought for the first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks of summer. Like, I'm so blindsided. And he's like, what?
Yeah,
It's just,
you can't pretend that you're in a perfect place. Like, come on. So
no. And she
so
will
even her
continue
saying
to.
that is concerning, but I get it. Like, okay, in the past you felt like, can we unpack this for a second?
Yeah.
So she says she is triggered because in the past she's been blindsided by like a sudden breakup.
Yes.
So your your default now is to get upset whenever you get new surprising information.
Whenever something unexpected happens,
But isn't that life? Like,
you would think, um, maybe it's just something unexpected with a. Well, my thing is this, like, why are you able to get mad at him about everything and then he communicates once that he doesn't like your reaction, all of a sudden you're blindsided and you don't like how you're approached? Like, do you know how you approach people? It's crazy.
it is. You're so quick to be like, no, Connor, you should have came 5 minutes after I walked away. I was waiting over here. I got up to see if you were coming. Then
I was in
10
the
minutes
corner.
passed, 20 minutes passed, and you still weren't here. And then 21 minutes you came. Like, Mackenzie, please. So what I'm thinking, like why I asked you that is because I kind of get the impression that she just doesn't like to be confronted ever.
No.
Like,
She doesn't like
don't
any
tell her about herself.
challenge,
No
any
challenge.
no joke, no anything, but she's able to
Don't
do
joke
to
about
everybody.
don't joke about my man. Don't talk about my man. Don't look at my man. And my man can also not talk about our relationship, only tell me positive information. I think she just doesn't like getting negative information.
No, maybe she I don't know if she's ever been told that much and told no that much in her life.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know
Was
if it's
it?
like a privilege thing.
Could be. Could be. Like, I mean, I get it. I get the feeling, like, I can sympathize with the feeling of, like, dang, okay, I made you feel bad. Like, nobody likes to feel like that. But
Yeah.
you're never gonna, like, it's just part of life. You're never gonna always be on someone's best side. You're gonna offend your partner at some point in time. You're not
Right.
perfect. Maybe she's a recovering perfectionist.
Maybe. And then it's
I
just
don't
like
know.
it's just like it's just bizarre to me that it's like he's confronting you about the way you handled something and your immediate response is to
It's the
handle
handle.
it the exact same way.
And then critique James on the way he handled things in last episode, but don't have the wherewithal to see it in yourself
She's the
concerning.
epitome of I don't always follow my own advice.
Definitely. Definitely. Oh, giving advice is easy. Taking
Yes.
it. Hmm.
which we can all relate to, but she's just really fucking annoying about it. Sorry, Mackenzie. You're
She
really
is.
annoying about it.
Like, Mackenzie, I love your personality. I love that you stand up for your friends. I love that you're so outspoken. You stand up for yourself too. But like, girl, be open to critique. Isn't Mackenzie the one who dated millionaires, or was that someone else? Was
It
that
was her.
okay. So also gives me the vibe that she's just been catered to a lot
Yeah.
and hasn't had to like um work through. I don't know, man. It's confusing. You dated millionaires, but you've been blindsided by people. Was it the millionaires? Was
Yeah.
it...
Did they unexpectedly break up with you? Which, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll get to know more into her psyche with it. But
Right? Like
as of
out of
right
the
now, it's a
blue,
little
like
confusing.
it is. Like out of the blue, you were no longer in their private jet and they didn't invite you to stuff anymore.
I'd be sad
I
about
get her
that too. I get
feelings.
that, but I'm like, relax with
Yeah.
Connor. I don't know.
Yeah. And I have a feeling they talk about things. I think they have more conversations than we see because Connor likes her. We don't
Yeah.
see that like side. I'm sure they made up after this. Maybe she did take some accountability, but this behavior definitely gives off red flags because you're just somebody who it's like, okay, I just want to have a good day with her, so I'm not going to say anything. And it's like you should not have to tiptoe around your person.
Yeah. I think it's like the people pleaser thing.
Mhm.
And like also like I just don't want to have to chase her around this villa again.
Mhm.
It doesn't look as
She
big
likes
as
to
the
make
one
a
in season
scene.
6 in Fiji, but this hotel
No.
gets some steps in.
She's getting her steps in.
She's trying. But Caleb gets a text and it's that tonight will be a recoupling and two guys are going home, which is crazy.
Hmm.
Um, Caleb and Rachel chat. And she's just like, I want to continue to spend time with you and like get to know you. And she does say she wants to chat with Jeremiah first, though, just I guess to be sure, like that it's going nowhere.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm into you and Justine." And she's like, "I'm glad that you're being transparent with me and like
Hmm.
being honest." And I'm like, "Okay, see a little
Yeah.
something between them."
Yeah. And he basically is doing what she didn't feel like Jeremiah was doing.
Yeah. This part was kind of funny because Justine and Sally are just like praising Jeremiah. They're like, "Oh my gosh, he's just so real with Rachel despite like a recoupling. Like that's how you know he's genuine." And Moira
Hmm.
just goes, "Do we think he really thought about it like that?" I was
That's
like,
a good point, Moira.
Poor
Good. She's
one,
like,
Moira.
was he like on it? Like, was that really, or was he just like, yeah, I'm good on her, and like forgot he was playing a game?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it was that deep. And Justine or Sally, like, no, I think he's real. And I'm like, he probably is, but I don't know if he thought, like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself despite the recoupling.
Yeah, like had he, well, we don't know when they had that talk, but I'm assuming it was the night before this text.
Yeah.
So had he just waited a little bit, but I like Moira giving us the benefit of the doubt because we really don't know. Seems up in the air to me, like, but I do think that Shelly and Justine have a good sense of people, so I was like, I would trust their judgment if
Yeah.
they really feel like they know him.
True, true.
He was probably being sincere, and he probably also forgot that this is a show where you need to be in a relationship to stay.
I think they're all right in their own way.
Right. There's truth to everything.
Yes. And then Jeremiah and Justine chat, and I'm like, oh gosh, is this gonna be like them? Like maybe she'll pick him or revisit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically just like he's like, I could have waited to tell Rachel, but I thought that'd be messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him like, oh, me and Trey are open, but we're still like progressing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
They edited it that it looked like it was like, oh, are we gonna? I don't think
yeah,
to
no,
them having the conversation that recoupling was ever gonna be a thing. I think
no,
they were just catching up as friends.
right. And then James is like getting ready, I think, and he's like, I'm just still open to finding love. And it's like, well, that sucks. Uh,
Yeah. He's like, I'm
Um,
not giving up. I'm here for I have high hopes. I was here to form a real connection.
and it's like, well, you know, a lot of people come to this for a lot of different reasons. It doesn't mean it's gonna work out,
Basically, we needed a soundbite from James and we found one.
basically. And then it's nighttime. He does chat with Moira, and I will say they seem to be in better spirits. Like at
Mm-hmm.
least like civil. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, oh, I'm nervous to make a decision. And he like asks, oh, could you see us getting back together? And she takes an extremely pregnant pause and is like, yeah, I could. And I'm like, I don't believe you.
We must have missed something. Maybe they had a really good like talk where they reconcile things and really hash things out. Because I was like, Moira, the last time we saw you, you didn't want to say two words to this man. So this is a
Yeah,
big change of pace. Like, where's this coming from that you would say yes? Because the Moira we saw last episode would not say yes
right.
just to appease him.
I wonder how much, because I remember with this past season, it was like a 2 day like delay or something, but it was pretty
Mm,
much live. I wonder how much of a delay this one was.
yeah.
And to
Yeah,
see
me
like,
too.
because there is a lot they're not showing, especially because this is like cable TV and every
Yeah.
episode's like 43 minutes. So it's
No, I
like,
mean, they have the drama that they want to edit. So of course they showed us the argument and not the big nice makeup where
yeah,
James realizes he was wrong. That probably
right.
happened, maybe.
It seemed they were better, but still like a little awkward. So they probably made up, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
rekindling.
Get that sense. I was like, it seemed really flirty to me because he sits down and he's like, how are you feeling? She's like, yeah, I've just been thinking a lot. He's like, yeah, me too. And they're both smiling at each other. And then like he said at one point, like, oh, I like flirting with you. I like I've been thinking about you too. And then when she said yeah, she was like smiling when she said it. So I was like, something, y'all must have really made up.
Oh, yeah. Something must have
Uh,
happened.
yeah.
It was on the cutting
Um,
room floor.
right. They're not gonna
Um,
show us.
they were like, she's into Calvin. Anyways. Um, but then we get to the recoupling and
hmm
Ariel shows up. I thought she looked good. I liked her little romper dress or whatever.
I wasn't really paying attention to what she was wearing. But they're like, here's our host. And I was like, oh, yeah, that lady.
Look at you. It's
Yay.
been a million episodes since you last showed up.
And I don't
Um,
think they've started this slow-mo, the like, follow me, the oh,
they did
side
a
look.
slight slow-mo, but it wasn't nearly as much as they do now. And it's awkward because it's like that white tunnel.
Yeah, and it's
So I'm
big.
like,
They
are
don't
we
zoom
at
in
the
at all.
airport? Like, where are we?
Literally. Brandon, it's like you see like a whole entranceway and one small person walking inside. The fact that you noticed her outfit at all is crazy. There was so much
Yeah.
else to look at. They're not focused on her at all. Now it's like they get every angle of the host. You see her hair, her lip color, all of it. Yeah, like all of it, all of it. She high fives people on their way in.
She
Like she
does.
does all of it, but not Ariel.
No. So they start the recoupling. Sally picks Johnny. Kirsten picks Carrington. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
obvious one. Justine goes. She does end up picking Trey.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mackenzie picks Connor. And then Rachel goes, and we're like, oh, is she gonna pick Caleb to get to know him more? Or is she gonna maybe try to stick it out with Jeremiah, see if they can get that spark? No,
Mm-hmm.
she picks Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeremiah is left single. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's Moira's turn. And they're playing Selena Gomez, Lose You to Love Me. We always
Oh
went
yeah.
into it blindly. Such a good song. I haven't heard that in forever.
It is.
Um, but she ends up between James and Calvin. She picks Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
And so that leaves Jeremiah and James are dumped from the villa. And
They're
I was shook
out.
about Jeremiah. I going into this episode, I didn't expect him to be the one.
Me too. Yeah, he basically ended his relationship with Rachel intentionally
Yeah.
and I don't think was actively talking to anybody else enough. So you go home. And Rachel would have picked him, but I mean, it's good for her that he said something,
Yeah.
but also just like kind of silly that he did it like that, you know?
It is. I mean, I guess it's noble because if you don't feel it, then you're giving her the opportunity.
Right.
But it was just like it felt out of nowhere. But I guess, kudos for
Because
being
like
honest.
yeah, no, it's good that he was honest. I just feel like this is also like a show, right? Where you need to be in a relationship, right? So like you need to
Yeah.
unless he was just like, I'm ready to go home. But in my head, I'm like, so you just didn't think through your decision, not to lead someone on, but to also like, okay, put yourself in a spot where you can continue to get know other people. So he wasn't
Yeah.
talking to anybody. He ended things with Rachel and then he just had to go home. Because our prediction was Caleb I predicted Caleb and James would leave.
Yes. And I thought it could have been Caleb or Trey.
Yeah, you were
Uh,
thinking Trey might go.
yeah. But we knew
So
James for sure. We were like, he's
we knew
gotta
James
go.
was out. Yeah. Bye, James. You're leaving. Time
Bye.
to go.
And then
Uh,
but I don't think Jeremiah wanted to leave because he was crying.
he was so sad. I was like, oh, James was like, it was so great to meet you guys. I had a great time. Jeremiah's like, oh, I'm really talking about my feelings. But this has been like a brotherhood and I'm really gonna miss. And he's like, starts crying. Johnny's crying. Carrington's crying. Calvin's
The
crying.
men are sobbing. I'm like, oh
They're
my
so
God.
sad. And I was just like,
I'm
dang.
like,
So
this
then
is a
Rachel
lot, but
naturally
okay.
felt bad too. When Calvin cried, I was like, Calvin, what are you upset about?
Right? Like, that
You
was
just got
random. I
here.
was like, Coward, what? Okay,
You just
cool.
got here. So it was a very tearful goodbye to Jeremiah. And then they had a name. I didn't write it down. He said something. He referenced his name, his
Oh
singing group name,
yeah,
Jingles. J and
Johnny
J Jingles.
JJ Jingles, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
I was like, well, not Jingles.
Love
um,
Island,
won't
baby.
you take me by the pool? Love
Love
Island, baby,
Island, baby.
wanna be in love with you, and we can go high, and we can go low. Oh, okay, I need to pull that clip.
Oh,
Um,
so it was kind of sad to see him go, but
it was James wasn't sad. But Jeremiah was. We like Jeremiah. Everyone's just crying. They send them off to the tunnel. And then they go
um,
through and we never see them again.
yeah,
They're done.
honest, I don't remember when he said it, but James said something like they both had like leaving thoughts in their confessionals.
Yeah, I didn't write it down for some
Um,
reason.
Jeremiah said something like, I wanted to be honest with Rachel and let her know, I really actually he didn't I don't think he mentioned Rachel at all. He just said, I really found a brotherhood here. I didn't expect to
He
meet so
pulled a
many cool
Connor. He was
girls.
like, I love the bros.
If I came to Love Island for anything, and if I could be like think back and be happy about anything, I'm happy that I made some awesome friends in the villa, some awesome bros that I can hang out with, who will hang up my crusty shorts in memoriam.
I mean, they all still hang out to this day. I follow Carrington on Instagram and he was just at some event and like Johnny was there, Trey was
No
there,
way!
Justine, Caleb. I
Oh, that's
think
cool.
Kirsten, but I couldn't
You
tell.
couldn't tell? Okay. Okay.
I was like, you
No, that's
look like
cool.
maybe Kirsten, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm like,
James's
all
closing
right.
thought. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I mean, it makes sense that they would all be really good friends.
Yeah, especially because it seemed like it was like I don't know if they were in Vegas or somewhere, but it seemed like one of those like pool like parties or
Oh, that's
something, and it seemed like
fun.
it was sponsored, and there was like at some point there was like someone holding like I got a text, like it seemed like
Oh,
it was a
that's
Love
funny.
Island event, maybe because Love Island's on like a high right now,
Yeah,
so they're doing
that's
more and more
cool.
stuff.
No, I think we don't see all of the friendships that get built. Like we see
Yeah,
hints of it, but I mean, I'm not surprised that the guys. Well,
right.
actually, I am surprised that the guys were so emotional, but it makes sense that they were so emotional.
Yeah,
And it's kind of sad because we didn't see a single tear for Caitlyn. Or what was that girl's name? Was it Caitlyn?
it was Caitlin.
But James's final thought was he said, it was a big misunderstanding. I didn't care about Moira in the moment. I should have, but something like you live and you learn kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, so I think we did miss him taking some accountability."
Yeah, but bye.
That's it. Bye, James.
Um, we then get a sneak peek of the new bombshell, Lauren,
Whoo!
and she's from Oxford, London, but lives in LA. And whenever she walks into the room, she always feels like eyes are on her. And she says, as far as girl code, I know it exists, but like, I really like Johnny, so I want to go for him. And I'm like,
She's like, there is a girl code. Anyways, Johnny.
enough about that. So Johnny. Um, and then we also learned that the viewer vote, the first one, they have America has to vote on what guy should go on a
Yeah.
date with Lauren. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that is messy. But then we get to episode 8, and everyone's still reeling about Jeremiah and James leaving. Carrington's having his moment with Kirsten. He does give us
Hmm.
some backstory that he grew up in a military family, and sometimes he'll have a friend, and then all of a sudden they'll have to move, and it just brought him back to that place. And Kirsten's like,
Hmm.
I love seeing this emotional side of Carrington.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Moira is talking to Calvin. She's like, I feel like I can breathe now that James is gone.
Tell
I'm
us how
like,
you really feel.
right? I'm like, damn.
Suffocated,
I get
smothered.
that. He's like, now no one's gonna talk at me a million miles a minute and not let
Right.
me answer questions.
Just answer any questions.
And then, but she's like telling us, she's like, I want to go slower with Calvin than I did with James. And Calvin seems very respectful and feels the same way. And it's like, okay, this is nice. And then Trey is trying to have a moment with Justine. And he's like, on a sad night, you were the highlight. And it seems kind of genuine, but she still won't kiss him. And I'm like, she's not into him.
Yeah, because in her speech, she said that they had a slower start, but she's confident enough to take a chance because he took a chance on her. And then she appreciates his patience. And then she also says that Trey knows how to handle her, but then behaves in a way that none of those things are true.
No. And I'm like, I get wanting to take it slow. And I'm like, you don't have to kiss him. But I'm just like, because you don't want to kiss him, I'm like, you're not that into
Yeah.
him. Because then he does his like
Yeah.
3 kiss where it's like the 2 cheeks and the forehead. But he does the thing with the kiss where he'll just like, he kind of like opened his mouth before he kissed. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this looks weird. I feel like maybe she just has the it.
I don't know what it is. Like, there's just, it doesn't even seem like they have like a good friendship. There's
It's
just
not
like
clicking. They're trying to
nothing.
tell us it's clicking, and we're like, I no, I
I
don't
think they're
believe
telling
this.
each other it's clicking too. Like, oh, we would be so
This is
good.
totally great.
We are gonna have a big thing out of this place. And you're somebody who I would date, and this and that and the other thing. But then it's just like, but is it? I don't know.
Who are you trying to convince right now? The audience? Each
Right.
other?
And we don't really see them in any other fashion other than having these conversations where they like kind of talk about how they feel about each other and then she gets kisses on the cheek. And then like so what happened was they go to hug. He's like, "Give me a hug." And so she goes to hug him. I think they both just went the same direction and she was like, "Oh, were you trying to kiss me?" And I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Did you think he was?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was.
It was just awkward. All of it was
Yeah.
awkward.
So then he does the 3 kisses, and I was like, this is weird. Because I was like, this would be a good time to give him a kiss. You just told everybody why you like him. Grant, I mean, you don't have to kiss the man if you don't want to. I'm just saying the natural progression, there is
If
none.
you liked him and was into him, or maybe not, but then we'll learn later on that maybe she feels the same way. So
Yeah,
we're like, okay.
yeah.
But then I just have that everyone goes to bed. Did anything else happen at night of note that you saw?
No.
All right. Next day, the new bombshell enters, and it's Lauren, and she just sprawls out in her cheetah print, and she's just waiting. She's like,
Drinking a mimosa. I was like,
I was like, okay.
yo, what an entrance. And then she came in the morning. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to give me a second to wake up.
Right, because everyone's
I'd be
like
pissed.
just waking up, like, who's out there?
I think Justine saw it and was like, there's a girl out there.
And they greet her nicely though. But and
Yeah.
Sally's like the nicest. She's like, oh my gosh, she looks so good. We look terrible. We just woke up.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
She's
funny.
like, but she was cool about it. She was like, it's okay. I had time. I had more time. I've been here for a little bit. I was like, how long have you been waiting on the chair?
Right? How long did it
And the
take for them
chair
to
was
wake
like,
up?
yeah. And then the chair was like on top of a hill, kind of. It seemed.
Yeah. I'm confused by the layout of everything.
Every time I see a different part of this place, I'm like, where are, unless it's the roof or that little nook. I don't know where
Yeah.
they are half the time.
No, and I almost couldn't even in the last villa from the last season, but this one especially. I'm like, what is this?
I feel like I understood season six layout pretty good. But this one is just weird because they would also help us orient. They'd be like, "Do you want to go to Soul Ties?
Oh
Do you
yeah.
want to go here?" And then it'd be cool. And but these folks don't label anything.
No, it's just like a random bench here, a random bench
Yeah,
there. And it's like, okay.
yeah,
Um, the girls talk to her and they ask who her type is, like of the guys, and she says she doesn't know. But I'm like, well, you told us, Johnny.
right. You lying. You
Mm.
lying.
And then this is where Mackenzie's like, yeah, the thing about like me and Connor is we actually are official, like we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. And it happened last night. Actually, like we decided, we put a label on it. So like that's our thing.
I was just like, "You did?" Question mark.
Right, because then it cuts to the guys talking, and Connor's like, I would pursue Lauren if she initiated. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like someone who has a girlfriend.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what? Oh boy, here we go. Here we
Right.
go.
And then the
Buckle
guys
in.
show up to give her a tour around the villa. They're like, hey,
Hmm.
Lauren, can we show you around? And she's like, sure. And so they like take her around and then they go to like the kitchen area and they're just chatting. And she's like, "Oh, she was talking about I guess her impressions and she was like, Carrington I can't really figure out." And then
Yeah.
she started to talk about Connor and Mackenzie and I forget she said something funny, but I forget what it was. She's like, seems controlling or something.
Yeah, she's like, there's like some controlling and Connor Mackenzie, some controlling energy. And
Yeah.
then she like giggles and like um
She's
and
like, I
then
heard you guys are on boyfriend and girlfriend. She just told us up there. And he's
yeah.
like, well, I wouldn't say that. Like, I feel that way, but we're not like officially like I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that we're like official. We're like boyfriend and girlfriend, but like there are feelings there. And like if I were to do it, I would want it to be like a moment.
Right, like I'd want to ask her in a special way kind of thing. And then I remember him saying he was joking with her
Oh,
and
with
maybe
who?
with Mackenzie. Like they
Oh,
from what I understood, I thought of it as like they had a conversation where he maybe joked about them being exclusive, but
and
she
she
thought it
took
was
it as like
real.
serious. I could see
Yes,
that.
I
I
could
could
see that
see it.
too. Because
But
obviously they're not on the same page.
no, and I was dying at Trey because Trey was dying at this. He's like, wait a minute. And then he walks away. He's like, oh,
You are not exclusive.
uh, and
Oh
and
gosh.
then after that, Connor and Mackenzie chat, and he's like, oh yeah, like we just all chatted with her and it was like chill. And then like she had brought up what you said upstairs, and I was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for a moment to like be even like special for me to ask her and like all this. But she said we were like cute. And I was just like, you are
You're
100 million
lying.
thousand percent lying to her.
You're lying.
And I get the line about maybe the controlling comment because you don't
Right.
want her to spiral.
Right.
But then when you're lying about your reaction to the boyfriend girlfriend comment, it's like, oh, that's where I'm like, oh, Connor, like
Yeah, you're
you're
not helping
becoming
yourself.
you're becoming wrong in this
Yes.
quickly.
Yes. And it's like it's tough because he doesn't even clarify too that they aren't exclusive either. He's just like, yeah, I just
No.
wanted to ask you, like, I do have those feelings, but I just want to ask you in a special way. And she's like, oh, I can't wait.
Right.
Not like,
Not, oh,
not
I don't,
like,
we're not.
not right now. I was just like, you need to say, hey, let's just clarify real quick. Like, I do want to be exclusive with you. I'm looking for opportunity to ask, but like I didn't mean that we were exclusive, right? He didn't say that. So I think
Yeah.
she's still under the impression that it's her boyfriend. And
Oh,
later
for
she
sure.
says, he's my boyfriend.
Aren't we in
Which is
love?
so
Isn't the point to be in
bad.
love?
Oh, I feel
Um,
so bad for her at the end, but he's not helping himself. Granted, again, she is not someone who is easy to talk to. So I understand it, but that doesn't, you're kind of poking the bear now because not only is she not easy to talk to, but she doesn't accept bad news well. So you lying to her and later having to tell her the truth is not going to fare well for you.
you're giving her an actual reason to be upset now.
Right, a real
Um,
one.
I was dying though at the guys talking, and they're like, they didn't make it official. Mackenzie did. And I'm
Right.
like, maybe she did. And then
Yeah,
I
Tre is
did
like,
appreciate them holding Connor's feet to the fire a little bit.
oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
they're like, are you guys together? Because your reaction said and that you're not together. I think Tre said your reaction was weird. And then Caleb's like, yeah, you don't hesitate when you're
Yeah.
exclusive
If you're
with someone.
dating someone and they ask if someone's your girlfriend, you say yes.
Yeah. And so then he goes again into his long explanation. He's like, the feelings are there, but I just want to like ask her in a special way. But if Lauren approaches me, I am open to it. And it's like, Connor, those two things can't be true. You can't be exclusive with Mackenzie and be open with Lauren.
Yeah. And granted, I think it's very early for them to be exclusive and boyfriend and girlfriend. So I would understand him not wanting to, but you have to communicate that and not be shady.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I feel this is just it's just a mess. It's a mess. And it's like what did he say to her? Cuz how did she wake up saying, "Yeah, we're exclusive.
we're
He's
boyfriend
my
girlfriend.
boyfriend."
I don't know. I don't know why they don't
What?
have that like on do they not have that on camera? I'm not
I
watching the
don't
hour and a half recap episode to see maybe if they have it, y'all. So just play it. Show us
we're gonna have
everything.
to I'm gonna read the description of the recap to see if it's in
Right?
there. But like what did he say that made her come to this conclusion? And then he's not fixing it. Later I see like a clip of them cuddling by the pool and they're just holding each other and being really close. And I'm like, Connor, you did not tell this girl the truth.
No. And then like, cause he even talks to Lauren kind of in front of Mackenzie at one point, and he's
Yeah, and
not
they have
saying
a
anything
three.
that bad. He's just like, "Oh, don't rush into things, whatever." But Mackenzie's like
Mhm.
all over him, and she's like telling us like, "I'm not insecure at all." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And Lauren's like, "It'd be easier to have a conversation with Connor if Mackenzie wasn't all over him." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
So maybe she's not insecure about Lauren because she thinks they're exclusive. And
she's
maybe if
lying. She's insecure. She's
she's so
lying.
insecure. She's so insecure. It's crazy.
Uh,
But yeah, she's like hanging on his she's got her arms around his neck. And it's like, yeah, but
yeah.
you gotta be open and like you're so pretty and you're gonna do fine here. It's just like
Right.
and Lauren's like, yeah, thanks, guys. And she's like, oh my gosh, I cannot speak to this man without this girl being all over him.
And it's like, no, just buckle up because something
Yeah,
else gonna happen.
right.
But then Lauren does pull Carrington for a chat, and she just keeps saying how she hasn't figured him out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm open to talk to you more." The conversation seemed like fine. I don't know. I didn't get anything
Yeah.
crazy.
I was confused because he was like, they sit down and he's like, so who are you most attracted to? And she's like, well, you. And I was like, no, you're not. You like Johnny the most.
Right. Yeah, that part's the part I was like, okay.
Why are you lying to him?
But
Unless
me
you're not.
unless maybe she does find him the most attractive, but she's the most into Johnny. I don't know.
I don't know. So it's just a little confusing. And then I was like, maybe you're just saying that because you want to get to know him, which is smart. Shoot your shot, right? Be open.
Yeah.
And then Kirsten is like spiraling during it. But their conversation itself, like her chat with Carrington, it seemed fine. And honestly, he didn't even seem that interested if you're at if like
He
to it
I thought he wasn't.
until later.
He does say like, oh, she's very down to earth and like super hot, like realistic, and it's like, okay, pretty like generic shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And like Kirsten's like freaking out, and I'm like, okay, Kirsten, like relax. I don't think it's that
Yeah.
deep. It's just one
Yeah.
conversation. And then Kirsten and Carrington talk, and she just opens up about how she was losing her mind because it was so long. And he was like, I felt the same when you went on your dates, and it's really just all about trust. And it's like facts. And then this
Yeah.
is where I noted right before she talks about being cheated on, I was like, I think Kirsten's like projecting a lot of like past relationships. Like, is this Nicole?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Are you
like,
Nicole?
are you Nicole? And is Carrington
Yeah.
Kendall? Oh.
Yeah.
And that's basically where she's like, yeah, I've been cheated on. So like, I just like, I don't know. She's like freaking out about Carrington because she's like, on my dates, I just thought about him the whole time and I just don't know.
Yeah, like, and then she says something to the effect of like not wanting to be embarrassed. So I get it. It's like you put yourself out there, you find someone cool, then someone walks in. It makes sense that you would be upset. That's natural, but you also have to be open, and it's very hard to do in this sense, especially when you have a past like that. Like while Carrington was talking to Lauren, Kirsten goes over to Justine and Sally and it's like, "Oh my gosh, guys, I'm freaking out." They're like, "Why? Relax, you're fine." And she's like, "I am, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "No, stop." Like she starts to like almost tear up a little bit. And they're like,
Yeah.
"No, you're okay. You're okay. Don't cry. You're fine. You're fine. He can talk to people. That's okay. But he's still, you're still with him. You're fine." He's just like, "I know, but I'm just so." I think it really is like a big thing for her. And they hype her up. They're like, "You're a beautiful girl. You got this. You'll be fine."
Yeah. And, again, like we said, after the Carrington and Lauren's conversation, we were like, oh, it doesn't seem like anything. But then Carrington sits down with Johnny and he's like, yeah, the thing is, like, my one conversation with Lauren was more interesting than any conversation with Kirsten. And I was like, damn.
That's crazy.
He pulled
You
a
talk to that girl
Jeremiah.
every day and every night. He's like, "Actually, I'm not feeling this that much." Yeah, Kirsten, she cool. When I need somebody to pick me, but now that I've
Right.
been picked and I'm here, and I honestly feel like he's using the date as a cop out. You went on a date, you know.
Yeah.
It kind of almost seems like a justification, which is it is a justification, but it's like he's using it at. Does that make sense? He's
Yeah.
very quick to say, "You went on a date, though." You
Yeah.
know?
Which, yeah, it makes sense, but it's just like, Carrington's he's an odd one to me. Again,
Yeah.
because like he was like all over Kirsten and hated that she was going on dates, but now it's all we haven't had any interesting conversations. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you don't
That's
really seem that interesting to have an interesting conversation with him. I'm being honest, Carrington.
the
Um,
360-degree change is crazy to me. Like, have you just been faking it this whole time? Did you to say I don't know if he's just exaggerating as he talks, but if
yeah,
that's true, that's really fucked up.
it is, but and then this is where Johnny says he's like, the girls feel the power shift, and it's just very unattractive. And I'm
I
like,
was like, "Johnny, you ran to Moira to ask her what the bombshells looked like. You sprinted over
what a
there, high
valid
knees and
point.
all.
Yes, say it
You were
again.
pressed about the bombshells not 2, 3 days ago. So don't say the girls, blah, blah, blah. It's everybody. Everybody is on their feelings about this whole process. It's a show
Yeah,
where they put you in situations to see you freak out. Honestly, it's a trap you signed up for, Like, don't be like, "Oh, the girls are the girls." No, everybody is.
right, exactly. And these group of guys, the OG guys, are interesting and very
Yeah.
like, I don't know about them.
Yeah. And then after I heard the conversation he had with Johnny, I thought back. And while Kirsten was talking to him, like opening up to him, saying like I was freaking out a lot, like I was really upset, he was just like, "Yeah, you don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah." And it was like very nonchalant when she
Yeah.
was like actively freaking out. Like he wasn't really comforting her. Even when they got up and they were done, she asked him for a hug and he gave her a hug. And so,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It wasn't, he didn't seem to really care for her feelings in that moment.
He didn't. It was definitely a shift. And maybe she was picking up on that. That could have been
Yeah,
part of it.
it could
I
have
don't
been.
know.
Yeah.
But I do think I saw a potential spoiler on TikTok. I didn't know it was gonna be this season, but do you want me to tell you?
No, no.
I'm not even sure if I'm completely sure. Okay, I won't tell you. Um,
Yeah.
I will say, do you
Sounds
know?
like but not a spoiler that we don't know if it's a spoiler or not.
I know, right? I because I kind of swiped up when I saw I recognized the people. I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to be spoiled, but it's so
That's
hard.
crazy that you would get a season two spoiler.
I think it was because someone made a video where it was like top Love Island moments or something like that. So it was
Oh,
like
okay,
the
okay.
first one, of course, was from this season. But I did see when I was trying to look for pictures. Do you know Monet McMichael?
No.
She's like this influencer and she's dating this guy, Jalen Noble, who's like another
Hmm.
influencer. He was on a season of Love Island, and I think it was this season.
Oh, really?
And apparently he wasn't great because now he's one of those guys that like they say a lot of words and think they're like know everything about like relationships and like finances and
Oh,
stuff like that.
and they
Like he
don't.
recently kind of got under fire for something for like saying some shit and people were like, Monet, is this your man? And she's like, I told him not to go on more podcasts or something like that.
I'm dead.
He's
Not you
also
told
one
him
of
not
those
to
guys
talk.
that like make the videos about like, oh, these are all the answers and this is what I do. Like try to make it seem like very like I'm perfect. And it's like,
Yeah, I'm an intellectual.
process.
I did research, I did surveys, and I know these things. It's like, do
Yeah.
you?
I think he
That's
meditates. He
funny.
does like an ice bath. I'm like, okay.
Oh, the
Trey's talk.
Justine talk.
Oh yeah, Trey's
Mhm.
talking to Sally and Johnny, and he's basically like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to talk to Lauren. I feel like I owe Justine respect, and like we're getting closer. And it's like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, look at that.
That is sweet.
And Justine's like, oh my gosh, can we talk, Trey? Actually, and he's like, yeah, of course. And she's just like, I don't know if we're going too slow and like waiting for a spark.
Hmm.
And like, I just, I want you to like be able to like talk to Lauren and like see what's out there and not miss out on anything because like, I don't know if we're just like waiting for something to happen when it's not. And he's like, I mean, I've been going at your pace. And she's like, yeah, totally. Yeah, so are we waiting for a spark?
I was like, damn.
Yeah, and this is where she tells us she's like, normally I fall pretty quickly, so the fact that it's not happening, I just don't know if it's going to.
But Justine, it's been slow for a minute, honey. It's
It
been slow for like
has
a week. Not
that
the same.
part,
It's
and I'm
like
like, I mean,
you
it's
just
good that
found it
you're
out
telling
now.
him when a new bombshell comes, I guess.
Yeah. No, it is
So,
good that she's telling him, but I feel caught off guard. Trey looks caught off guard. He looks pissed. And
yeah,
he looks like he's just like he kind of shuts down. He doesn't say a whole lot. And then she like gets close to him and he's like, "Why are you getting close to me now?" So I think he's confused.
yeah, that part was a little weird when she got close. I was just like, you kind of almost broke up with him. Like, what are
Yeah.
we
Well,
doing?
yeah. So like I don't understand their dynamic at all. It's like I think in Trey's mind, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna take it slow with her, and things will progress with time, and then then we'll like really like get to know each other and stuff like that." That's the impression I was under, and they are slower physically. So then for her to like get like super close and like blah blah blah, I don't know if she was just trying to make him feel better or what, but the whole interaction was really weird, and he was just like he was kind of like leaning away from her a
Yeah,
little bit.
he's just like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I was just being honest." And it's like, "Yeah." But now you're kind of like, I don't know. But
Yeah. You
It
got to
was
give
just
him space to be upset. You have to be aware that this information could be upsetting.
right. But Johnny and Lauren chat, and he says, me and Sally are still open, but it would like take a lot, and I would get to need to know you a lot more before like jumping ship. Like I'm really into Sally. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trey comes in and interrupts, and he's like, "Can I take Lauren for a chat?" And I'm like, not a
Mm-hmm.
Caitlyn situation happening all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he asked like, "Oh, what was your first impression of me?" And she's like, "Oh, that you were a game player, but you're different now than what I thought." And they're like, they have kind of like a good chat, I thought. There was kind of something.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's kind of on a mission because when he first walks up to her in his confessional, he's basically saying, like, my thoughts are changed immediately after what Justine just said. And then
Yeah.
he's like, so I got to get in the game. And yeah, I'm going to talk to this girl. And then he also says, after they show them talking, he says he wants to be happy and he wants to be chosen.
Yeah.
So I think
Don't
he's
we all,
feeling a way.
Trey?
Don't we all, Trey? But yeah, he's like really, I think he's upset. He wants to shoot a shot,
Yeah.
and then like he feels like kind of maybe stupid for waiting on Justine for nothing to happen. I'm trying to interpret the I want to be happy and I want to be chosen.
Yeah. And I can get that, but it's part of the game. Not everything's gonna work out. So like,
Yeah.
but I get it. He's like, I gotta talk to Lauren.
Yeah.
Um, but then the guys all chat and they have their little powwow. They're like, Lauren's fucking hot. Like she just looks so good. Like she's like literally the amount of times I heard someone say, I'm sexually attracted to her, like I'm very attracted to her. And then like, oh no, I'm attracted to her. And then I'm attracted to her. No, like the thing is like I'm attracted to her. It's like, okay, we got it.
Right.
Y'all are attracted to her.
Right.
But then Johnny's
Do-
like, I think Trey should be the one though to pursue her.
it's
Because we're on
like
a relationship.
it's like they're in an auction. And they're
Yeah.
like, so what items are, how much is the item sold for? What factors do we need to, who would best fit with this product? And then they're
Yes.
like, but Trey should. And I'm like, Johnny, what are you doing? Again, so this is where I'm starting getting the feeling like he's kind of a know-it-all.
I've
Like
run
he
the
gives good advice.
stats
He's a
and the
nice guy.
data, and based off that, I think logically it should be Trey.
Right. And it's like, do the guys agree? Does
Right.
Carrington agree? Like, does Lauren agree? Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Clearly
Come
not.
on. It's a little weird. And this reminds me, did you peep the montage earlier of all of them working out and just watching her?
Yes. They all just
That
like are
was,
admiring her body, which is nice. Like she's beautiful, but I'm like, y'all
yeah.
chill.
Yeah. It was like she was an exhibit at the zoo and they're all kind of in the gym area just looking over her where she's
Yeah.
laying
And it's like,
on the
okay,
little hill
y'all.
kind of thing. And they're just like, wow, like Johnny goes to do pull-ups, like where you can see her right in his line of sight. I was like, y'all are, oh, these
They're a
boys are
mess.
so feral. There's a cute, she's a beautiful
Oh
girl.
my God, look at her. And she's a
I'm doing
threat.
a, I'm doing push-ups now.
Can I bench press you, Lauren? Like, who
Yeah.
was it? Wasn't it
Oh,
Trey
who did
who
they
like did
pick?
it to Sally?
Kirsten?
Sally and Kirsten,
Was it
maybe?
Kirsten?
Yeah,
Yeah, or
I think so.
Mackenzie.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
But Johnny does talk to Sally, and this is where he again goes, I'm attracted to her, of course, but like she's no you. Like, I want to be
Mm-hmm.
with you. And she's like, really? Aw. And it was
Mm-hmm.
cute.
Yeah,
Um,
he said he likes that she's not bothered
oh yeah.
by
He's
she
like,
doesn't
that's
seem
very
intimidated.
attractive that she's
It's
like
like
so not intimidated.
and it's like you're throwing shade again because you're like, all the girls are just so blah blah earlier, Johnny.
Mm. But then it's nighttime and they're all getting ready, and Sally's like, I feel like something's gonna go down. And it's like, oh, just wait. Um, and
Why,
then
Sally?
there's this awkward moment where the guys are talking. They're like, "Oh, how would you kiss one of them, Carrington?" And then Carrington like actually
Ugh.
like takes it seriously and like kisses the back of his hand. And I'm like, what is wrong with these guys?
They're way too comfortable with each other. And I think
I'm
somebody was like, "Oh my God." Like they were like reacting to
they're like, kiss
him.
me. And it's like, wait, what? It's like, oh my God.
They're
Relax.
the locker room interactions with these boys are so interesting.
It is. So they all go outside, they're dancing a little, having a good time. And then Lauren gets a text and it says, America wants me to go on a date with Connor. And it's like, oh shit. And immediately, without missing a beat, Mackenzie storms off. And she's like, why does America hate me? Like, does America
Um,
hate me? Why would they vote for Connor to go on the date?
mhm.
And it's like, well,
It's kind of a good question. Because think about it. The date was from the last episode, right?
yeah,
Before Mackenzie was, I mean, we saw earlier Mackenzie. Why did America pick Connor and not Johnny?
because there was the fight with Mackenzie and Connor where he was like,
Was
she freaked out about the triple kiss. And then when he tried to be like, hey, like,
Oh,
why
you're
did you react
right.
this way? She freaked out again.
Oh, the vote was after episode 7, not 6. I
Yeah.
was thinking it was episode 6.
They like introduced the vote in the episode before, but then they told us what it actually was for in
Mm.
episode 7.
But okay, that makes sense. America's really petty. I get it though. I get it. I
I
I
do
think if I
too.
was in the app and I saw a lot of votes for America, I don't know who I would have picked actually. Because from episode 7, I don't know if I would have picked Connor. Would you have picked Connor?
Probably. People are probably in like save Connor. And then
He's so
also like
nice. Save
entertainment
him.
wise, oh, this is gonna make Mackenzie spiral.
That part.
And I think it is America doesn't like Mackenzie.
Yeah, no, she's onto something. As she's asking Justine these questions, she is hitting the nail on the head. The problem is she doesn't have all the information she needs to know as to why America would hate her because Connor is not telling her the truth.
Well, she also doesn't carry the trait of self-awareness. She
But no, it's kind of confusing to be. That doesn't make sense because he says something, then they're all lovey dovey together, booed up. How am I going to know something's wrong? Also, she's not someone who's easy to talk to, but like if you're still not
well,
talking to her, how is she going to pick it up?
you know, here's the okay. So I guess from her perspective, because she doesn't know when America voted, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, well, what did they see?
Right.
Whereas
She doesn't
from
know what they
ours, it's
saw.
like, well, we know what we saw. Like we
Right.
voted at this time. So I can see
Right.
that. But then I can also see her being like, she's like, but we're a couple and we're together. Like, what does it matter if we fought? Or like I freaked out a
Uh,
handful of times.
yeah. And we didn't hear about the couple stuff until this episode.
Yeah. Which maybe she thought we did know.
Yeah. I think
I don't
no, she's
know.
definitely thinking that. And then it's a little confusing because even I think even after this episode in America hearing that they were exclusive, the way it is delivered, I think America would have still voted for Connor to go on a date.
Probably for drama's sake at least.
Right. But
Um,
also free Connor even more because what? She's not his boyfriend or she's not his girlfriend,
yeah.
apparently.
But it doesn't stop there because Lauren gets another text and she has to
Hmm.
choose two other boys to date later. Like I guess after her date with Connor. And she picks Johnny and Carrington, which I thought
Hmm.
was funny that she didn't pick Trey. I was like, "Ooh,
Hmm.
Trey. Looks like it's not gonna work there."
Yeah.
Um, but Connor does follow a crying Mackenzie,
Yeah,
and
because
she
she comes
just
back for the second text to hear what it
yeah.
was and storms off again.
And she's like, "I just don't want you to go." And he's like, "It's just a date." And then this is where I think Lauren officially won me over.
Hmm.
She goes up, she's like, "Babe, what's wrong? It's just a date. We're just gonna talk." And then she's just like, "No, it's just like fine, I don't know." And then Lauren just goes to the balcony and she's just making this face like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Like, is she really crying like this?"
What is going on? Where am I? This girl is loose. Because you know what she does? Mackenzie is like crying still and is like, I'm gonna throw up. And that's when That's when Lauren rolls her eyes and is like, oh,
I
take
can't
me
do
out.
this.
Get me out of this
Right.
hotel villa. I can't.
We gotta go. And then Mackenzie does like go inside, and then Connor leaves with Lauren, and he tells us, he's like, I am relieved to kind of have a moment away. And
Oh
it's
my
like,
gosh.
as you should. And this is where I
Yeah.
noticed too, I'm like, okay, Mackenzie's making like this face, but are there tears?
Oh,
Because
that's a good question.
when she
Zoom in.
walks back, she's just like the whole time, but like there are no tears. And but she talks to
Oh.
Justine, and Justine's like, it's just a date, like it's fine. America doesn't hate you. And she's like, no, they do, because like we're together. And isn't what the show's supposed to be about? Like being together and being a couple? Like, why would they vote that? Like they must hate me. And it's like, well,
Look, when she's given context clues, she interprets them accurately.
she does, but I want to be like, it's kind of
Yeah.
because of how you're acting right now. What you're doing
Hmm.
now is
Remember what
exactly why.
remember what James did? Minus the yelling and stuff, but just the strong reactions to information that doesn't lend for such a strong reaction. That specifically is what folks are having a hard time
There's a
watching you do.
spectrum of reactions, and you and James are on the same one, just different parts. His
Hmm.
was like aggressive talking, like like so fast and all this, and yours is like crying and annoying.
And
Um,
shutting down and not listening.
yeah, being combative. Um,
Uh,
so that's where the episode ends, though. And then the next episode, episode 9, which is going to be the hour and a half one, which we're going to go over again this
yeah.
week. It didn't show too much. It's just it's like, oh, there's going to be these dates, and it's like
Yeah.
Johnny seems. Well, I didn't like Johnny either, because Lauren's saying like what she's looking for, and Johnny's like, okay, check, 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 like trying to say like, oh
Uh,
yeah, it's me, and I'm like, okay, Johnny,
Yeah, he's giving mixed signals because he tells Sally, like, oh, you don't have anything to worry about. But when he was talking to her, when he was talking to Lauren the first time, I felt like they were feeling each other and he was open to exploring it. But you told Sally, oh, don't worry, you're good. She's not you. It
he's
would take a
talking out of
lot. She's
both
not
sides
you.
of his mouth.
Yeah, like you're kind of telling both girls you like them a lot. And it's like, but you have to pick one at the end of the day. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't yeah.
And Connor, I
My
think, is just like, oh, I'm into you or something like that. It's like, we know.
I think Connor is so respectful that he's probably not gonna like do too much, but man, it's sad watching Mackenzie on. It's like embarrassing watching Mackenzie. I
It
just feel so bad
is.
for her. And like if she was more receptive to receiving negative information, I think Connor could be honest with her and just be like, hey, look, how you react, I get it. Your feelings are valid, but how you react is kind of like giving me the ick. Like it's kind of a turn off. And it
Yeah.
makes me feel like you make me feel like I can't talk to you about things that I should talk to you about, but I can't say anything to you because you get so upset, right?
Right.
But at the end, she's just like, "We're in love. He's my boyfriend." Oh, poor girl.
And love. It's been like a week and a half. Stop.
I
I
was like, "Are
can't.
you in love, or is this something else that only you know about?"
Maybe. But yeah, so
um,
I'm excited. This season's
I am
fun.
too.
I
It's
like
picking
it.
up. We
It
get some
is.
like every couple episodes, something happens, and I'm just like, "Huh?" Like,
Right?
I see why people wanted us to watch this.
It's an interesting group of characters for sure. Um,
Definitely very eventful.
Yes, but so that's pretty much it for today's episode. We'll be back. We'll drop another episode covering episode 9, like we said. So stay tuned for that. And
Mhm.
yeah, in the meantime, y'all should leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, rate us 5 stars, also rate us 5 stars on Spotify. If you want to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to us, you can of course subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast. And then also, if you want to see like fun clips we post, we have our TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast.
Mhm.
And we will soon be posting on
On
the Instagram
Instagram.
at the
We
Shade of
have
It
an
All Pod.
active Instagram plan. Stay
We do.
tuned.
Stay tuned. And in the meantime, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.